And we are rolling. Hazing, hazing, hazing.
Zinga.
Bing, bing,
Zinga.
skitty dink, gidding, skitting, bing, ding. What is up, everybody? So, as you can see, we are here at a new episode of Art of the Jam. And it might.
I don't even fucking know.
I don't either, actually. But you may have noticed, you may not have, that there is some changes here, some cool changes. We're mucho excited.
Moving along in the world.
Yeah, trying to improve and reinvent. Speaking of reinvention, that is today's topic of our question and our underlying topic. There's many things that are changing throughout the show of Art of the Jam, and I wanted to start off this new era of the show because this is I think this is actually a new season, even maybe.
Oh fuck! Has it been 20 already? Since
You know
the
what?
last one?
I don't know. And
we have to be at least the 4th already.
Yes. I'm just gonna start the new
Honestly,
season.
that feels good though.
It done do. But I'm gonna say today's question for you. We're still gonna start with the question. The same crazy antics are going to occur in the show, but we are going to do things a little differently. We're going to be trying a lot of new things today on the show. This might be a long one, Space Camp, so I hope you packed a diaper.
You know what?
And what?
I've already been up since 4 o'clock, so it's all good.
You know, we'll bookmark that topic there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say today's question for you guys is on the topic of reinvention. What is a band that has, over the years, reinvented itself in some way, shape, or form? It doesn't have to be anything in particular, whether they bent the genre, pioneered a new sound, employed a new just vibe or what have you throughout their career, and for the better or for the worse even. So if you were a fan of them and they reinvented themselves and now they're jack fucking garbage shit to you, that's cool too. That could be involved in your answer. Or if they were fucking garbage pieces of shit and then they reinvented themselves.
Do we get more than one answer?
You can have as many as your heart desires, and we will get into that. But even if they, and vice versa, if they were, garbage shitbirds, and then they reinvented themselves, and their newer music is great, whatever, what have you. Here we go, and guess what? Time it is, Space Camp. It is time for the intro. And we are back from the intro, actually. And that's cool. So, Space Camp, we're going to go ahead and we'll answer this question for ourselves. What is a band that you think, a band or bands, artists, whatever that
3 Days Grace.
Oh, that is gay.
The original lead singer after leaving, and you change the lead singer to a band, you're literally changing the whole dynamic.
Well, yeah, but see, this is
it wasn't bad. It just wasn't. It didn't have the same pull that it once did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, this is the thing, and I'm not knocking your answer because it's obviously your answer, but it's like, is replacing a member like considered reinvention?
Yes,
Because it's
I
like,
do.
well, is
I
it
do
out of
think so.
well, is it out of necessity? Like what happened to the first singer?
I honestly have no idea. But like if like let's say you put in a different part, like in a car, right? It's gonna run differently.
Well,
You see what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's like you reinventing it. You're reimagining it. You're not. It's not gonna. It's never gonna be the same once you change it once.
Right. So I guess then maybe that is reinvention. It's just almost like a forced, necessary reinvention, not like a conscious one. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody. It's not like they were like, "Hey, let's. It's time for us to change our sound." It's like it had to change because it was a different mind.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So and I mean that's
So
kind of good that you mentioned that though, because I I didn't think of that angle. There's many angles to reinvention, and I never thought about the one that was kind of forced or necessary to not really. You get what I mean, though? Like I
yeah,
didn't
no, I
really.
understand. And I have actually. I guess that could be another like perspective of it. But the sword, like, they had an album come out like 2015, and it was like completely different than what they normally did, and it changed the whole dynamic of the band. And after that they still had that same style, and they never went back to their older style. It
Right.
was weird, but like in a good way. But it was really weird just to hear that change, like on a dime.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
That's cool, huh? I have a couple. I have a couple. Um, I'll go ahead and I'll segue into album of the week, and then segue back into what we're talking about, because album of the week has everything to do with my answer to this question. And so, but I'll go ahead and say,
It's hurting my ears.
oh, your Burger King hat. Yeah.
My ears.
So today's album of the week is Changes One Bowie. It is, I believe, it's a compilation album of David Bowie. But speaking of reinventing yourself, he quite literally reinvented himself. There was an interview I seen a couple years ago where he talked about how he had all these alter egos because he didn't like writing as himself. He thought was easier to write as somebody else, or from the perspective of somebody else. And so he quite literally was his like first album. He went by Davy Jones because that was his real name before he actually changed his name to David Bowie.
Dope.
Yeah, and so he quite literally went from Davy Jones to David Bowie, and then he created the Ziggy Stardust alter ego, and then he did the Aladdin Sane, which is the Thunderbolt. You know what you know the Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Well, Aladdin Sane was another alter ego of him, and like the Thin White Duke, and he had many. He literally changed his own being, his own alter ego, in order
It's
to
kind of dope though.
write and make new music. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, you know,
Wow.
an interesting example of reinvention and music. And I have a couple other. It's like, I was talking about was talking about how you say you know segueing back into our topic here when we're talking about reinvention. So, but David Bowie, he was one of those people that he quite literally invented himself and in different egos and whatnot. And then you have you have people like John Coltrane. He invented like the Coltrane changes, or what I was talking about, and like pretty much in like Miles Davis creating modal jazz, which with kind of blue, which that's a whole other fucking episode to talk about that kind of shit. But, you know, but Miles Davis was one of those people too that literally, from another angle, he like pioneered like new flavors of jazz his whole career. It was almost like every other album, every 2 albums, he was something different. Like he was like, you know, because they had like, you know, your traditional jazz, and then he got super into bebop and created modal jazz with Kind of Blue, and then, you know, you kind of you have that like Spanish influence whenever he did the Spain album, and then you get to Bitches Brew and On the Corner, and it's like dumb, like like in a good way. It's like psychedelic, you know, because everybody,
It's funny.
you know, he was a very he Miles Davis was reinvention. Like if the topic of reinvention was a human being, it would be Miles Davis. Like he always talked about changes and you know how if you're not willing to change what you're doing, you're doing it wrong. Like you have to invite change and let it happen. And that's why I'm like, with our music, I'm like, dude, like we're interested in shit. Let's just do it.
And then the cool part, finally, we're starting to get into shit that we are interested in the same level.
Yeah, like we're finally finding our common ground, rather than
which is
you know.
cool, you know, because you know we cannot be so far from each other.
I know, and you know what's kind of crazy is like I was always into this like psychedelic like '60s vibe, you know, and you're a big metalhead in with like Slipknot and Tool and all that shit, and it's like it's not shit. That was just me talking. I wasn't calling it shit. Sorry. I just wanted to specify that. I'm
talking shit on my music.
No, I'm trying to be more conscious of what I say.
You fucking dick.
Oh no, but no. I never would have guessed that our common ground would have been like jazz and Indian music, or not Indian music, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you kind of opened the door to a lot of that like foreign music, and I was already like veering into jazz because I listened to some metal bands that have a lot of jazz influences.
Right.
And like Dillinger Escape Plan, those fucking guys are nuts. Well, that's not like what you're into, but they're like just really like this really just
yeah.
But like but jazz and like the foreign music is kind of where we meet.
Yeah, but I just never in my wildest dream would have guessed like that's where we would find our like each other. Do you know what I mean?
I think we kind of like found it together in a way.
Well, I mean, I've been listening to Afrobeat since like a long time, and like African music, but like I got really bored, you know, with like I got really bored listening to music, and I started not caring what lyrics were, to be honest with you.
Yeah, honestly, I like the music more.
Yeah. But no, and I kind of agree. I think I don't think we necessarily discovered the music at the same time, but we definitely met in the middle. Like we found each other in that middle right there, and I think that's just kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's kind of wild. It's just weird, you know. But
never thought honestly be playing this style, because you know most of my influences are metal. You know, then I got like some that are not, like Clutch. Clutch is not metal at all.
Yeah,
and I fucking love those guys. And
there always has been elements of like I've always been into Indian music, like you know that's like there's a little sliver of India in '60s psychedelia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's that, you know, like experimenting with sitars and stuff like that, and like Redbone, you know, like Come and Get Your Love, like Lolly Vega. Yeah, Lolly Vega played a electric sitar. He's you know, if you listen close to that, you know, that riff and Come and Get Your Love, it's actually a sitar, and it's kind of fucking
Have
dope.
you ever watched them like sing it?
Yeah, I've seen live videos of them. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
They're You know, they were actually
I
afraid.
smile a lot.
They should. What do you?
They're coming to get that love, you know.
Yeah, for real. You know, they were actually afraid to like show their Native American culture at first, and they were persuaded to lean into it because it was almost.
I can see that in that point of time
because of like like racism and shit and all that garbage.
Because that was kind of like around that time. That was kind of like the peak of it before it was stopped.
Well, I honestly don't think it
has.
I know.
You know what
I'm
I
talking
mean.
about it definitely hasn't stopped completely, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, like 60s.
They just all fucking love each other, dude.
Yeah. 50s, 60s, 70s era was like civil rights, the time for civil rights.
Yeah.
I get you. But, no, like...
Civil rights movement, that's what, that's where it really started.
Yeah. But like, what was I saying? Like Bowie recreating himself, Coltrane recreating, reinterpreting music theory, creating the Coltrane circle, creating the Coltrane changes. And Miles Davis, within his genre, just kind of revamping all of the different ways you basically he pretty much created every type of jazz, in my opinion, other than like he didn't create bebop because that's what created his obsession with jazz, but he created like the modal and psychedelic jazz. But what I think it's funny, where he drew the line was free jazz. Because what free jazz is,
that
right?
that B sounding?
Yeah, just... yeah, but...
I'm like, what? That reminds me of a cat on catnip.
Yeah, quite literally, yeah. But what's funny is he drew the line there, and he said, you got to have some kind of form. And it's like, you can't... Which is kind of cool because there's that. I don't know if you remember the guy from Chelsea's, the sound guy. He's the one that first told me about the tangents and the framework, which is, for some reason, I might just be a nerd, but just that phrase gave me chills. But
Tangent?
Huh?
Tangent?
No, that whole phrase, tangents and the framework, because the that was Jimmy Page's like idea. He would say that you can't just jam. Like, you can't just do... Like, everybody can't just do something. There has to be a framework. That's what's cool about the show and doing the rolling the dice, is because the dice is pretty much giving us a framework. You know what I mean? It's building the framework of the house and the blueprint of the house. Now we just have to fucking build it.
That's fair.
What I'm saying? And that's what tangents and the framework means. It's like, you can freak out and play whatever the fuck you want. You can sit there and if you want, but there's got to be some sort of structure.
They're panning for gold, dude.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the coolest things we ever came up with.
Yeah, but the panning for gold thing, it's like, we can't pan for gold if there's no river,
right?
Or rocks and river and minerals and pans, and like, we got to bring that shit. That shit has to exist for us to be able to do it.
Minerals.
Yeah, dude, all that good stuff.
Good shit.
Yeah, dude. Some of that radioactive rock, moon rocks. Yeah, how's that treating you so far?
Honestly, I dig it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I've never been able to hear you so well. We're it's like I said, that's what I was getting at.
I honestly, I dig this, so I think
you do like it.
Yeah, I like it.
It was what I was getting at earlier before we started rolling. I was like, it'll make sense with the topic of reinvention in the episode, because I was like, we're trying all sorts of new shit. We're talking reinvention. We reinvented the set. We're trying some new things and whatnot. And you got
hands free.
Yeah. We got you a fucking boom stand so you
Actually, technically, it's your boom stand.
I know, but it's it's until you get one or we get some more, it's yours too. You can use it on the show, and I'll use it for shows and practice. Yeah, that thing annoys the piss out of me too. I don't know if it does for you, but
Kinda. It's in my face.
yeah, especially if you play outdoor shows and it's windy, that thing is the dumbest thing. But
shredded.
Yeah. There you
The
have
wind
it.
will do that, dude.
I did want to talk about one more angle of reinvention, though. And I always find some way to mention Hendrix, but Hendrix or Guar, no, but Guar's been the same. Guar just stayed the same. They haven't done shit. They're still alien, like garbage aliens or whatever the fuck they are. But no, Hendrix. The other angle of reinvention isn't just. He didn't bend a genre or have an alter ego or do anything with theory, really, but he reinvented every time he played a song. Like, he even says, it's like, he even has that quote where he's basically talking about how, um, you know, uh, I'm always constantly trying to reinvent. That's why I make so many mistakes. And it's like just having the balls to do that,
Right?
And it's like he'll play. You listen. He has more material out there and recordings than anybody I've ever heard of, right? And if you listen to a live recording from the Hollywood Bowl in the '60s, and then you listen to like live in Hawaii, and he'll play the same song, but it's like it's the song, and you get it, but it's like he's doing all sorts of random shit because it's like. I feel like he just takes a lot of chances,
right,
and tries to reinvent his song because
he
it's
just
like
does it.
yeah, and so it's like there's all many different angles to reinvention, and I just thought that just thought this would be a good topic to start off a new season of Art of the Jam with because we're quite literally in reinventing ourselves in a way, and our music is starting to take a different direction, which I am super excited for, and we're starting new material.
Yeah, honestly,
Hacky hack.
Fucking gross.
Yeah.
I like that we're kind of just flushing out some,
Mm-hmm.
so we can start new stuff because
Yeah.
we don't want to get tired of it. And also, I like that how we've been with the stuff that we have been playing, and we just doing shit to it.
Yeah, we're kind of taking many angles to ourselves with reinvention. It's like we're letting the music naturally move in a direction that it wants to move, not something that we necessarily want to move in. We're just letting it happen, right? But we're also, with all the old material, we're taking these new bag of tricks that we're acquiring,
Right.
and utilizing them in older songs, and those songs are being reinvented in a fun way. Still staying the fun, lovable Phantom Sam songs that you all enjoy, but huge. I don't know. I don't know why I said that, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, I cannot fucking take you seriously. You go huge.
Why don't you go ahead and take some show real quick, and we'll get that out of the way.
It's so funny, dude.
So we're gonna segue into something
you didn't
here.
See this?
Yeah, we have a rule about phones. Mine's a little easier because it's quite it's filming us right now. Currently, it's capturing us and sending it to you via YouTube. But no, there's as you all know by now, hopefully, if you listen to the show, the late great, my beloved Janis Joplin.
Fucking love that damn dog, dude.
My dog passed away a couple months ago in early December, and me and my fiance, whom you will have met on the show on our Valentine's Day episode, we finally decided that it was time to get a new little furry friend, and so I'm just gonna sit here and bullshit for a second until she can. Nichelle's gonna bring down our cute little dog and show it to you briefly before we move on to the next segment.
Now it's on her.
Yeah, but I told her, I was like, hey, we'll message you because I don't want you to interrupt my flow here. But ooh, what is that?
I bet that's satisfying.
It is very satisfying, actually. I wish that was I wish that was louder and you could use it during for something in the show, but or
They
for,
have
live.
they have louder shakers like at Morgan.
Yeah, I just feel like we would have to we would still no matter what we would probably have to get you a microphone.
I thought about getting those things to go. They're like tamarines. But it's like about this big, and they got like the individual. I thought about getting one and putting it on my hi-hat.
Oh, like Black Cat Jay had? Did you see his?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would bring a neat little spice.
I think I'm gonna take up flamenco dancing. That's a lie. I just seen that we had these castanets, and these are freaking dope. They're a lot harder than you think. I hear a stirring upstairs, and I think that yep. So guys, I want to there's a
fucking dog is so cute, dude.
So I want to introduce you all briefly, and watch out for the cables and stuff, Nichelle.
She's so big for no reason.
I want to introduce you all to our new dog. This is Pearl, our German Shepherd, Anatolian Shepherd mix. You can come sit right here for a second if you'd like, or just show her. Yeah. Oh no! She's I don't know how old. How old is she? 7 weeks old.
Them paws are massive.
Yeah, she's got some meaty paws, and we're very afraid that she's gonna end up way bigger than
she
expected.
is, dude.
Well, just the Anatolian, sorry. Just an Anatolian Shepherd reaches maximum like 180 to 150 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't it weird though? Like, just talk like I don't know. I just feel like my camera. Not that I'm any different, but my quote unquote camera persona is like, hey, yo, how about this? It's this.
Back to you, Bob.
Stuff that we've talked about in person. I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. But
shit.
yeah,
no, dude, Purdy Pearl.
Her name is Pearl. We named her in honor of the late great Janny. Our favorite album by Janis Joplin is Pearl, and so we decided to name her Pearl.
Breathing hard.
What do you have to say? Huh? Nothing? All right. And I will tell you what, I have not slept very well in 3 to 4 days. And
why?
Actually, only one of them is because of her, really. First night I slept on the couch because I was like, fuck that. I let you deal with it because I'm an asshole. Well, is she being a good girl up there?
Cute.
She's sleeping. She needs to wake up.
Oh. Well, you know what? She's got the...
What you gotta do?
She got a big, long tongue. Yeah.
No fucking will. Hey, that would be a funny reel. Zoom in on that.
Oh, yeah. She's going to make a reel. You're going to make a reel, I think. You going to make a reel?
I hope you can hear the little sneeze.
You can. I can hear it in the headphones. But all right. Thank you, Nichelle. Hey, will you take a look at that camera and see? It should still be rolling, right? Really? Okay, good. Cool.
She does that every time.
I know. I'm not going to... It's like the boy who cried wolf. I don't think I'm going to believe her when she actually tells the truth there. But there you have it. There's our pretty new little puppy girl, Pearl. Puppy girl, Pearl. I call her...
Dude,
I call her...
That dog's going to get fucking big.
I know. I call her Pearl Squirrel.
Pearl Squirrel?
I don't know why. But, Nichelle calls her, she came in earlier and she said, "Oh, Pearly Bird." And for some reason I love that. I don't know.
I was thinking Pearly Pearl.
Well, we've called her that actually. Just your Pearly Girl, just because you're a good girl, Pearl. Good girl, Pearl, Pearly Girl. But, yep, she's been shitting soft serve, and that's good. Got her good food. Yeah.
You definitely shitting everywhere.
And she's actually,
doing really well.
I expected, if you get a new puppy, she's gonna eat shit in the house.
It's inevitable at that fucking point.
But to be honest, she's pissed quite a few times in the house, but it's only because she'll sit there and chug water, and it's impossible to take her out every 10 minutes. And, well, not like impossible, but it's hard to keep up with a little piss machine. But like, but she's shit in the house only twice, which is like dope. I figured we were going to be like constantly cleaning up shit, but she's, we've been pretty good about taking her out. So, because I don't want the house to smell like fucking shit and whatnot, and I just, I want her to be fucking good.
The dog is so adorable.
I try not to like compare, to Janice, because they're different dogs. But I will say, she's got some high fucking standards to live up to, and I just
when I first met her, I was like wanting to hold her up and be like, you got some shoes to fill.
Yeah. I've been, speaking of holding her up, I've been manhandling the shit out of her because I know I only have like a month or two
before she manhandles you, dude.
Before she's too big to manhandle. But I like big dogs, though. I'm not a little dog. I think that's why I hate
pugs.
Oh, pug, yeah.
Or maybe a Frenchie, because I've always wanted one of them. Because their personality, dude. I think I've said that more than once.
We had a reel about a Frenchie. Because I said you looked like one, I think. I don't know.
I think
and it looks, too. Yeah.
I think it was like if we were a dog.
Yeah, it was what dogs would
callback.
Yeah, callback to a long ago episode. I don't know. Fuck. But
it's kind of weird that we have episodes from the house, the room, and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Do miss the vibe of the room though.
Yeah.
All the paintings and stuff though. I think that's what I miss the most.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta
move on though. But having all them paintings was kind of dope.
It was nice. I was hoping that we would be able to, and I am eventually. I'm gonna figure out how to put
get them wired and just because it's canvas.
Yeah. Well, I might actually put up the on the foam pads themselves, just tape them, use one of the, those sticky hooks. I might just put some of those up, just so just because
I definitely want to hang those up.
Yeah, but that's nobody wants to hear about that shit.
No.
We'll talk about that. we'll talk about our
talk about fucking nonsense.
Yeah, but yeah. So we'll move on. We'll go ahead and get.
Is this a segue?
This is a segue.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go
So last night, this is funny. I was cleaning the house and shit, and I went to go throw something in the trash can, and I was like, oh fuck, forgot to put a trash bag in there. So I go grab a trash bag, go to put a trash bag in, take out stuff, and I look in, there's a fucking mouse in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I picked up, I kind of stand there with the trash bag in, and what do I do?
Put it on top of him. I don't know.
So I'm like, fuck. So I grabbed a couple plastic bags and I get in the grab.
Like you're grabbing dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I held him and I was like, I'll just let him outside. And I thought, fuck, I can't let him outside because he's gonna end right back in my fucking house.
Did you stomp him to death?
No.
Oh, dang it.
Suffocated him.
Really?
I didn't know what else to do.
Well, there you have it, folks.
I
Space
feel like a
Cam.
piece of shit, but I felt like I had to share that with everybody.
We call him Psycho Shane now.
No, like how? What else are you supposed to? You can't let him back in the wild. He's getting up back in my house.
That's true. Oh my god, dude. So yeah, so it starts with mice. Then you're gonna realize like, oh, this random stray cat is kind of a nuisance. Let me just stomp its little skull in. And then you're gonna be like, whoa, there's this dog that I really hate. This dog across the street won't stop barking. And then in the middle of the night, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna stab him with a fucking screwdriver.
Are we going down Michael Myers
And
right
then
now?
then you have the bloodlust, and then there's gonna be that one Karen at work that keeps complaining about her meal. And then you're gonna stalk her. You're gonna spend weeks trying to figure out her schedule.
Where do I have the time for that?
You tell me, killer.
All right, no, you tell me putting a trap down is any better, or getting stuck on a sticky pad is any better? Starving to death, is that any better?
Oh, we're talking about mice again.
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
terrible.
what was there giant glue traps for humans?
I bet there is. Is that any better?
Honestly, yes. As a matter of fact, it is, because the mouse traps that I have are reloadable ones, and they're humane because they'll snap, but they pretty much pin them down, and then you can take them outside and throw them. But then, yes, they do come back. So you have a point. I will say that, you fucking psychopath.
I did not want to do it at all, but I was like, I can't just like shove poison down its throat, and that's even worse.
That's well,
The diet poisoning, that's worse. Suffocate.
it's kind of the same thing. I
Angie
feel like.
pointed that out. He's like, why don't you just step on it? And I was like,
Dude.
And she was like, you just made it a lot worse suffocating it. I was like, no.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better off being stomped.
I know, but I didn't have the heart to like do that.
Dude, so
I just had to just wrap it up and just walk away.
you ever live on a farm?
No,
You ever spend any time on a farm?
Not since I was like little.
Okay. Because my uncle, speaking of stomping rats, fucking skulls
Dude,
in.
I felt so bad for this little guy, and I almost wanted to pray after putting.
Like, I felt so bad for him, so I just squoze his little fucking neck until I watched the light go out in his eyes.
Oh, I didn't watch him. I actually took him to the trash can.
Wait, so I don't get it then. You took him to the trash can
No,
and let him suffocate in a bag?
Yes.
So you didn't physically kill him?
No.
Oh, you just tied him up in a bag.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if he's dead.
No.
Oh. Well, then that's even more psycho. You're being dramatic now. Cool. I just went on this big spiel about how Shane is a psycho, and now what the fuck?
What did you think I would do? That just hold it like that?
That's-
Fuck no.
when
I
you
would do the thought of him like squirming in my hands. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, dude. Like,
Well-
but you fucking suck.
When you say that you suffocated a mouse, that's I want to know in the comments. I want you to comment, was that not your first thought when he said I suffocated this mouse, that he strangled this fucker or like put a pillow over its head or something?
A tiny little.
Yeah, you fucker. It's in a little bed. Like a little dollhouse bed.
In a dollhouse.
Yeah. And you just fucking suffocate its fucking ass.
Fuck.
Oh, man. And then you bury it under the floorboards.
Of the dollhouse.
Yeah. And then you start hearing its heartbeat at night. Yeah. Comment, tell me what book that is or story. It's Telltale Heart by Edgar Poe. But enough about your fucking murderous
Master Splinter
tendencies.
shows up with a shotgun.
Wow. Yeah, because
There you have it, folks. Oh,
enough about your murderous tendencies.
dude. It wasn't.
I'm trying to fucking segue here, and you're fucking unsegwaying me. You fucking murderer.
Yes, I did. You've killed countless mice. Don't even.
No, the mousetrap I used did.
But you set that trap.
I did set the trap, and I put delicious honey roasted peanuts in it too. So at least I gave them their last meal, and it was delicious. It's like that fucking KFC for John Wayne Gacy before he fucking kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
Or the hot cup of
Fucking
coffee. And,
Jesus.
dude, there was a killer. You know the movie Monster about Eileen Wuornos, the serial killer?
Maybe.
It was Charlize Theron, and she looked super ugly. It's called Monster, and it was about a female prostitute killer, but a real lady. But in real life, Eileen Wuornos, because me and Michelle were super fascinated by the last meals, because we were gonna do like a series of paintings of Last Suppers, pretty much, and she had the most badass fucking Last Supper, like John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown guy. He had like a bucket of KFC and like a bowl of strawberries and like all sorts of fucking shit, like something you would do just to piss them off, you know what I mean? Because they'll give you whatever you want. You're about to be executed, but she was like, I want a cup of black coffee and a cigarette. And I'm like, dude, if I was a killer, that's exactly what I would have. Is a fucking black cup of coffee and a cigarette. And then put me out of my fucking misery, dude. That'd be dope, dude. Oh, man. But, no, yeah. Enough about when did this turn into murder, but, we're not.
We're one of those podcasts.
We're a true crime podcast now, yeah. We are, we're called Serial Sam. No, that's kind of neat though.
That was kind of had a ring to it.
But I'm gonna give you two options. So I have a new segment that I want to try, and then I have your favorite one. Do you want
I don't have any for this week.
So do you want to get the short one out of the way then?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. So, this next segment of the show, this is called Phantom Sam and the Fictions. This is the segment of the show where over the course of the week, well, in this case, the past 2 weeks, because we did not film last Monday, but that is beside the point. None of you guys care about that. But this is the segment of the show where over the course of the past week, I have, both of us, but Space Camp did not come prepared today because he is a...
lame ass.
Okay, well, see, he said it. I did not, but I have. This is the segment of the show where we come up with fictitious band names and we decide what just fun things about them. Usually, what genre of music they play, who would they open for. We just, what their. It'd be kind of funny to try to figure out what their first album would be called or something.
Yeah,
you know
that
what I
would
mean?
be a good one too.
Yeah, pretty much it turned into whatever we want to fucking say about them, but relatively just about the genre. But that being said, fictitious band name number 1. Bring. That'd be kind of cool. Like you have a different chord for every
chords.
Huh?
I said I can't play chords. But maybe this
Dude, put the 3rd fret on the high string there. On the highest pitch wise highest string, 3rd fret. Yeah. Just strum that. It's a C chord. Yeah, there you have it.
My scarf.
Yeah, it's all right. You dropped the cover too, but it's all right.
You know what?
We'll figure it out on the further episode.
Trial and error, and this is really slippery.
Yeah, it is. But fictitious band name number 1, Flaccid Magic. What do you think the band Flaccid Magic would play?
Well, I automatically think of 5-inch Flaccid.
Okay, yeah. But I feel like that's just because of the word flaccid.
Yes, but that's besides the point. Magic Flaccid?
Flaccid Magic.
Flaccid Magic.
You just dyslexic words, not letters. No, Flaccid Magic. I'll start by saying they would be local support for Red Hot Chili Peppers for some reason. I don't know if it's because of Blood, Sex, Sugar Magic.
They seem very like definitely funky, but like funky psych almost.
Oh, it's like psych funk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Funky psych.
Yeah,
I like that better.
Funk. They play.
The funk becomes before the psych. Okay, not the psyche becomes before the funk.
The funk psychedelic funk. Yeah. Okay. So, funk psychedelic Flaccid Magic. Oh, dude. All right. But yeah, see, for some reason it makes me think of like, for some reason it makes me think of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like the sock thing, for some reason, because the sock over their dick,
Right.
flaccid, blood, sex, sugar, magic. It's like, I don't know, but that's kind of makes a lot of sense. I feel like they would play psychedelic, or sorry, funk, psychedelic. We'll put it in your order: funk, psychedelic, and they would open for Red Hot Chili Peppers. What do you think their first album would be called? This is a hard one, to be honest. Flaccid Magic. Oh man,
Disaster of the Mountain.
what does that have to do with? Wait, Disaster of the Mountain? I was gonna say Heavy on the Cream. I don't know. Or
I don't know.
Or,
this is interesting. This is
or Human Creamery. I don't know. I think that one might be better than Heavy on the Cream. I don't know, because Heavy on the Cream is like a lyric from a Ween song. I mean, it's just a phrase, but it makes me think of a Ween song. But Human Cream Machine or
I
something.
was thinking like I was trying to like think like magic, like sorcery, like because you got to think about it that like what is like their image gonna be? You know, like what is their
Ooh, how about Al Creamery? I don't know why I'm stuck on the cream thing, but like alchemy, like
you
magic.
creamed?
What?
Are you creamed?
Question mark? Yeah, maybe. Like, are you experienced? Like, yeah. All right, let's move on from that one. I think we nailed that one too roughly. We haven't decided. I don't think we've definitively decided on anything, but it's our first time trying the album, the first name of the first album. But fictitious band name number 2, Moon House. Which that one's not really funny. I just kind of liked it.
Dude, I think of like Temptations, man.
Moon House?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
I don't know, like just the Moon House. It just like I think like backup dancers and singers and shit, like soul shit, you know?
Yeah, but I could get down with that. But what if it was like not neo soul, like you know the band Tame Impala? Have you ever heard that, like that? It's like,
It
or like
sounds
Mac
familiar.
DeMarco or some shit. It's like airy. It's like funky, airy, psychedelic type of music, I guess. But I feel like it would have that like type of like synth soul. But
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It would be like if the Temptations and Tame Impala just totally like fell in love, and they like were right there on the sandy beach, and they just like kissed. And then, like, next thing you know, 9
We
months
get
later,
sand somewhere that it shouldn't belong. Cause sand it's rough.
yeah, and then 9 months later, Moon House. What do you think? Who do you think they would open for?
Shit. Moon House. Ooh.
Is that their first single? It's just called Moon
House, yeah.
Moon House is a little old place where... No, but oh man, Moon House.
Fuck, this one's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's almost easier to do funny ones. Serious ones, you're like, you kind of want it to be real.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is too good.
Yeah, Moon House. I feel like,
Black Keys.
I could see that because they play with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, definitely.
Or fucking Elton John.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be kind of weird. I like that. Ooh, imagine that, Bill. Fucking Moon House, Black Keys features, headlined by Elton John. That'd be kind of wild.
Special guest, Eminem.
Moon House's first album would be called I was gonna say Lunatic or something, like, you know, What was I gonna say? Just loon. The loony bin.
It's just classic Houston. We have a problem.
Okay. I feel like mine. I feel like I'm trying to make puns, and you're just making statements, which both are great.
No, because the moon part, like just trying to Houston or Houston, we have landed.
Yeah, or like oh my fucking god!
One step from man.
I was gonna say something like that. Yeah.
One step for funk.
Let's just go with Houston. We have a problem. Let's go. Yeah, let's stick with that. I like that. Okay, fictitious band name number 3, and this is our last one. And oh my god, I forgot about this one, and I am bothered by it now. But fictitious band name number 3, medically mutilated. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say
mutilation is the name. Volume 1.
Oh my god. No. First album is just called Surgery. I don't know, something like that.
And the album cover is just Operation. But with actual...
but like a dude covered in tattoos. Or, yeah. Oh my god. And it's just an homage to the Blink-182 album. It's like just hot bitches or the ones with the tweezers. Yeah. Surgery. Or, or just called Reassignment.
That's good.
Yeah, something like that. No. But medically mutilated, they would open up for, you guessed it, Guar.
I was going to say Cannibal Corpse, but...
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, they've probably played together to some degree.
Fuck.
Yeah, I feel like that would be an eclectic bill. It'd be like, I feel like it would have...
Torso Fucked.
Is that?
It's actually a band.
Oh, yeah. So
but
diarrhea
they got a song called Raped by Elephants.
Ooh. Well.
And it's like...
Interesting.
I don't even know how they even talk about being raped by elephants because it's not fucking English.
You know what? That is actually crazy that you say that because that is the perfect segue into my new segment. It's called... And Space Camp, I never tell Space Camp about any of this shit.
I'm fucking clueless.
And we're just going to let this one go because I don't know how it's going to go. It's just a thought I had, and that's what we're doing.
Is that what that neat little piece of paper is?
That is exactly what that neat little piece of paper is. And this is a segment called Phantom Sam and the Mysterious Lyrics. Okay? Still a working title for the segue name. I haven't decided.
Whose lyrics you reading?
Well, it's just songs, right? So this is the segment of the show where, and I just came up with this a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to see how it would go. But, there's usually these songs out there that you hear, and you read the lyrics, and they're either so vague or so weird. You don't know how to interpret them. You don't know what they mean. You don't know what the artist means by it. So you're just kind of like, this is whatever it is. I'm curious as to what this means. So I thought that maybe it'd be fun, and I don't know if it'd be fun to you or not, but sometimes I'll hear a song and I don't know what the fucking shit means, and I would like to explore what some of these songs mean lyrically. So let's try it and let's dive in. First one that I wanted to... What?
That sounds ridiculous in them headphones.
It do. But first song is, and it's kind of funny that I mentioned Ween earlier, but I've always been fascinated by this song lyrically and musically. But this is the song Happy Colored Marbles by Ween from the album Quebec, released in 2003. And so I'm going to read a verse, and I just want you to whatever you think, right? So verse 1. Most people are not okay, but they're taking their siestas in the sun. Got some ideas on the way it should be, but most of them just carrying on. What
What's
do you?
a siesta?
I mean, it sounds to me. Well, see, whenever I think of siesta, for some reason it makes me think of fiesta, which is a party in Spanish. But yeah, like. But I'm fairly certain that siestas are like an antidepressant or antipsychotic medication. I'm not sure, but usually that'd be like a capitalized letter if it's the title of something and it's not. So I don't know, but or taking their siestas in the sun.
What's that a drink?
I don't know.
Siesta.
Yeah, but most
Sound like
people
a
are not
fucking
okay.
Beverage.
Meaning secretly, I feel like most people are not okay, meaning most people are unhappy with their lives, I guess. But they're taking their siestas in the sun. That's what makes me think that it's antidepressants or something. You know what I mean? Like
Makes sense.
You know, and I feel like the verses are pretty easy, but and then got some ideas on the way it should be, but most of them just carrying on. So got some ideas on like you feel like you should know or you have idea of what your life could look like. I don't know, something like got some ideas on the way it should be, but most of them just carrying on. Huh.
Maybe they dream about. They have this dream that they want to do, but they just carry on and continue with life without following their dreams of some sort. Lost in a daze of.
So they just you're saying
Just
like
hypnotized.
so pretty much they're so unhappy they can't do anything about their like. Oh, okay, all right, I feel you. Yeah, like yeah. Most people are not okay, but they're taking their siestas in the sun. Got some ideas on the way it should be, but most of them just carrying on. Yeah, so you pretty much everybody's super fucking unhappy taking
Just
antidepressants.
basically doesn't flinch an eye.
Yeah, they have dreams and aspirations, but just go. Most people just go on never even trying to accomplish what they want. Is that kind of
Regretting. Probably regretting.
most of them just carrying on. Yeah, he's pretty much like not doing anything about it. They're just masking it with a medication or something. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know. Here is the chorus. Happy colored marbles that are rolling in my head. I put 'em back in the jacket of the one I love. Carry that velvet sack full of pretty colored marbles, and I'll ask you for 'em back when I'm ready and done. This chorus has always been one of my favorites because it's so childish, and it makes me think of like when I first heard this song, I heard the chorus. The chorus does go along with obviously the rest of the song, but I feel like happy colored marbles that are rolling in my head. I put 'em back in the jacket of the one I love. Get in the jacket. You ever have that thing when you're a kid where you'd like wear like somebody's jacket or borrow something, you'd leave something in their pocket? Do you ever do that shit? It's almost like a childish like puppy love type of thing. I don't know. It makes so much sense in my head, but it's so hard to describe, and that's why it makes me feel like it's just such a happy chorus for something. Yeah, but yeah, but obviously it's I feel like happy colored marbles that are rolling in my head. It's like, oh, you've lost your marbles. You know what I mean? It's like a symbolic of your sanity. But putting them back in the jacket of the one I love. Oh man. Put them back in the jacket of the one I love. Carry that velvet sack full of pretty colored marbles. I don't know. Carry that velvet sack. I wish I had a velvet sack. When just sweaty chicken skin. What?
Those carbon strap matched drapes.
No, what was it? Josh one time was like, he called it your scrotum skin, like chicken skin, because it has like the bead, like the little dots or whatever on them. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and it's just like chicken skin. So yeah, just carry that velvet sack, carry that sweaty chicken skin sack full of pretty colored mom. I'll ask you for them back when I'm ready and done. That one's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like, in a way. Not self-explanatory, but easy to interpret, I feel like, in a way. Carry that velvet sack full of pretty colored marbles, and I'll ask you for them back when I'm ready and done. Verse 2, because the chorus just repeats. So, verse 2, most people are not okay and they're slacking because the job ain't done. Filling up on the poison nut and getting down till the dawn. See, that, I actually just realized this because that was one of the lyrics that I was kind of unsure about. I was like, what's the poison nut? And I feel like I think it's a drug. Not even like a antidepressant or something. I feel like it's like filling up on the poison nut and getting down till the dawn. It's like getting down till the dawn, like partying. It's like most people are not okay and they're slacking because the job ain't done. I don't know how to explain that. Because that's pretty much the same as taking their siestas in the sun gun. And they're slacking because the job ain't done. Most people are not okay. Because the job ain't done. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah. So pretty much I feel like all in all, I feel like this song is about being extremely unhappy and doing drugs and taking antidepressants to kind of mask your unhappiness with
emotions.
Life. Yeah. And the fact that your emotions fucking suck. I don't know.
I have feelings.
Yeah. But that was interesting. But yeah, Happy Colored Marbles by Ween. Hopefully, like I said, this was just a trial run for a segue. We might bring it back, we might not. I have no idea. But I just wanted to try that.
It's interesting.
And it is, yeah. It's just it's very difficult to interpret.
Stop it.
I guess. Do you like my Magic Jam cauldron?
Jam.
Yeah. And this is the Jam Goat. But so that was Phantom Sam and the Mysterious Lyrics. It's a working title. We'll go ahead and we'll get into our weekend we just had, where we played at the famous Kirby's Beer Store in Wichita, Kansas. Apparently a hangout of Pauly Shore, which is kind of wild. It's kind of interesting that we're having these indirect run-ins with venues where famous people have been. I think that's kind of interesting, like being in Duffy's and Nirvana playing there, and then we go to a fucking place in Wichita where you wouldn't think that fucking
Pauly Shore just hangs out.
What is it? The Leaning Tower of Cheese? Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's seen the Goofy movie, shout out Goofy movie. But yeah, we played at Kirby's.
Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Yeah, dude. But Kirby's in Wichita, Kansas, we played with a band called Pregnant. They opened, and
I loved it, but it was retarded as well.
yeah, and he means that in the best way possible. Like they even admitted we met them first off. We walk in, I'm like,
good dudes though.
Yeah, funny dudes, super nice. We walk in, and I was like, "You guys musicians?" And or you guys with the band? And they were like, "Yeah, but we're not musicians."
we honestly thought they were kidding, and like they pulled out some like crazy instruments, and we're like, "All right, well, maybe they're gonna do something really crazy." No, they really did not know how to fucking play instruments.
I mean, they did play some crazy shit.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like traditionally skillful crazy shit. If that, and there was no shredding.
Oh, but I couldn't decide if it was musically genius or comedically genius.
Yeah, for sure. And
my favorite part was when it got all from to the ukulele
Soft,
talking about
yeah.
selling her body for
dude, yeah.
money and shit. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, and like she went in the audience, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They did some really cool like stylistic things, like going out in the audience and playing unmiked. So like if the crowd wanted to hear the song, everyone was quiet, which I thought was kind of
It was cool
interesting.
as fuck.
Yeah, and
Their
like,
vibe was off the chain.
They were literally, and I mean this in the nicest way because every one of those guys were so dope and so nice, but they were just vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their vibe was impeccable. It was just, and I guess I should probably.
I see another stroller.
Yeah, I guess I should explain. The drummer was playing. He was the drummer and the trombonist, and he wasn't a musician, so he was just banging on the drums aimlessly, which he had a way better time than I imagined.
Oh yeah.
But you could tell he obviously wasn't a drummer. The trombone was aimless and drunken. It seemed like not literally drunken. It just seemed that way. But it was fucking dope, dude.
It was so funny.
And like, it was amazing. And then the singer, it was a drummer, trombone player, bass, classical guitar player, and then there was singer dude who had a megaphone and just like pieces of paper with like ramblings, like funny fucking ramblings. It was actually poetic as shit.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
And then they had a girl that played the ukulele, and she kind of hopped in, periodically to play songs, and she was pretty cool too. And but they were all so fucking good. Yeah, they had this song about like how he hates children or whatever.
Yeah, well, like strollers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like if I see another fucking stroller.
Yeah. But they were so fucking nice and so like.
When then the first thing that one dude, the trombone player, I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry, but he was like, "It's like you ready to get pregnant or something."
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna need Plan B.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what the fuck? It was like he said something about the trombone. I was like, yeah, that's how we're gonna get pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, their band was just called Pregnant, which I thought was fucking super funny to begin with, and I don't think that
And what was some of their merch was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I wish I remember some of that.
I didn't get a chance to look at all of it, but I do think that they upset the sound guy quite a bit because of how he treated them, but it is what it is. But after Pregnant, the second band was the Steppers, and the Steppers were actually the singer, mandolin player of the Steppers. We played with him. He was solo on the guitar and at the Sound Pony. The first time we played Sound Pony in Tulsa, he was there, and that was kind of weird because we were like talking to him, and we both were like, "Who is this? Like, we know this guy."
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
His beard is very like iconic, honestly.
Yeah, but like it was weird because I
remembered.
yeah, it was weird though because I was talking to him like I knew him, but in my head I'm like, I don't know this guy, but like who is this guy? And I think I know him. And then I realized like, oh shit, we know you. We've played together before. It was the first time. To do what?
I just clinked my teeth on it.
Oh yeah, that happens. But nah, dude, that shit that's the first time that's actually ever happened to me. About like, I mean, we run into the same people quite often, but like, you never really like that never happens for some reason where you're like, who is this guy? And then you're like, oh shit, you're that guy.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking shredder of a mandolin player.
Oh my god, hell yeah.
And then his fucking beautiful haired guitar player, he was shredding too.
It was like Robert Plant that played guitar.
Yeah, it was Shredder on the mandolin, Robert Plant on the guitar, and then you had just stone face fucking bassman on the bass. That guy didn't change his facial expression at all. And it was funny because that's a bass player thing, you know what I mean? To have like that stone face.
Oh, fuck.
But what's funny is like when you talk to him off stage, he was like lively and like, "What's up, man?" And it's like, "What the? Who are you?"
Yeah, it was funny as
He's
fuck.
like, "You might recognize me if I do this." It's like, "Oh, you're the bass player. Yeah. I know you. Why didn't you just start with the stone face?" But
it's funny.
Steppers were dope. They were like they called themselves, or I don't know if they called themselves, but the venue billed them as Jam Grass, which I thought was an interesting genre. I'm not a stickler for genre. I don't really care about
Jam Grass. That's funny.
just to give the audience an idea of what they were like, and then we played, and it went very well. It was a pretty good show, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And really fun.
I broke like 3 fucking sticks back to back. It was insane.
And all I did was break hearts. Just kidding. No, I'm just fucking saying shit. But we played, and then huge shout out. Seriously, I can't thank this dude enough. But the guy that played after us, Black Cat Jay, yeah, which was so fucking infectious. Like, I loved that shit.
And honestly, the whole like the Felix the cat, his logo, it kind of made sense when he did that too.
He was like he said he called himself a one-man rockabilly band, which I get it.
Yeah,
like
a western vibe, dude.
Well, rockabilly is kind of there is a
didn't know
flavor
that.
of western. Rockabilly is it's hard to
Very like western punk.
yeah.
It was very good.
Rockabilly is like if rock and roll, like Elvis rock and roll in punk and like western was jammed into one thing. That's pretty much what rockabilly is. And like I feel like the pioneer of rockabilly had something to do with like Elvis and Link Ray, which we talked to him about that, and Link Ray yeah, it was like that type. It's like that heavy reverb type of, just rock and roll. But he had a hi-hat and a snare on one pedal with a tambourine on the hi-hat, and then he had one foot on the kick, and then his pedal board was on top of his kick, and he operated it by hand, and then he just sat and played guitar. But his fucking guitar playing was on fucking point. Like,
he did it's I don't know if you'll know, it's like a theme for Ghost Rider. He did that.
Oh, Ghost Rider in the Sky.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have done.
It was dope as fuck.
I hate being like, yeah, man, you sound like this. You should do this song. Like, I hate being like that, but like you know the big iron on my hip. You know that I forgot what that, or Johnny Guitar. Oh man. He was just that type of vibe, like almost that, just like Western rockabilly, but he was all one man. He had so much fucking energy. Me and Gabe were talking about, my buddy Gabe ended up showing up, and shout out to Gabriel, but we were talking about how like the music was almost faster than he was. Like it was almost like him playing. The music had a mind of its own, and he was playing it, but every time like a riff would move forward, it's almost like he had the reins, like he was riding a horse. You know what I mean? And it was like he was like every time like he strummed, it was almost like, and it was like that. Like that's the imagery we were talking about. Like yeah, it was just like just the whole vibe of like his style. It was almost like he was fucking riding a wild Mustang. Like, that was what his music encompassed, and it was fucking great. And he had a great story about his name, too. He said his daughter told him that he should be called Black Cat, and then his grandpa was like, "Hey, Jay!"
Yeah, they put it together.
And he just put Black Cat Jay. But I want to give a huge shout-out to him because was so fucking nice. He let us take the sweet spot of the night graciously, and I totally misunderstood that whenever we were talking to him.
No, I knew exactly.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason I was like, "Oh, are you being an asshole?" Like, and then I was like, "Oh, no, I'm kind of assuming you are being one," and I feel like now I feel like the asshole, but we obviously,
He's
we
like,
cleared
I play
that up.
here all the time. I was like,
Yeah, but
that was cool.
you're like,
of him.
and I was like,
that
Yeah.
little tongue thing he did.
yeah. And not to be like gay, but when he was playing, he has this like really hefty vein in his shoulder, and I was just staring at it the whole time because I was like, dude, that's a good vein, man. That's fucking strong. You're a strong boy. I dig you. No homo, just saying, But hey, you can be a straight
That's
man.
funny but Wichita fucking slaps.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to play there more. And
Yeah, that was fun.
The sound guy, shout out to Trapper, the sound guy, but he pretty much was like, come back anytime. So I love to hear that. So we'll definitely be back to Kirby's, be back to Wichita in general at some point. But what I was saying was, Black Hat Jay, he gave us the sweet spot of the night, and he was very accommodating to us. And he, after we played, he continued to fucking kill it till like almost 2 a.m, which was fucking dope. And
yeah.
But
It's
nice
probably
guy.
the first time we get off stage, 1 o'clock almost?
Yeah, I remember when they were like 2 more, and someone pulled their phone up, and it was like 12:30. And if you know anything about us, 2 songs is probably 20 minutes at least. But yeah. But that was our weekend, and I didn't.
Bitch.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think that probably wraps it up for today. I think we went a long episode because I wanted to try some new things. It was good. We got some new shit. We got a new set. We got a new topics, new segues to try.
Got to see new puppers.
Yeah, we got the new dog. We got all sorts of shit. So, but we will go ahead and we are going to live with cause and leave the results to the great law of the universe, because the universe knows what's best for all of us.
And we're going to stay funky.
We're going to stay groovy. We're going to stay funky. We're going to do all that shit. We're going to be kind to each other. We're going to be kind to animals for sure, especially my pretty girl Pearl.
Oh, my.
And we are going to be kind to ourselves, more importantly.
Just know, I'm getting a mousetrap next time, because that was traumatizing for me.
He suffocated a mouse, everybody. Without further ado,
we bring to you
Art of the Jam. You fucking.
I forgot to say it. I said it in my head, and it didn't come out.
What?
I was like, we bring to you Art of the Jam. I usually say it with you, but I went to go say it, and it just did not.
You were probably too busy thinking about how many mice and cats you're gonna murder later, because that's what you do. Bye.